I'm sitting so far away from the camera that I'm not even sure if my eye makeup is going to be noticed in the reasons why I'm wearing the eye makeup, but I don't fucking care. Hidden Powers is the next book in the Dragon Assassin series. I really hope that this series does not fall off the way Children of the Dragon did, because I will be superbly disappointed. So, as a recap, Brax and Carmen are doing well. Brax is like alive and all of that. Her human friends are also in Dragonland because Ish has hit the fan at home. There's a map in this one, which I like. Not a lot of human world, but there's Drakia, which helps. Um, Chapter 1 is about her brother ending up somewhere. Remember that they wiped his memory because Carmen didn't want to kill him, and Brax took one of his eyes. No, yeah, Brax took one of his eyes because he accidentally did that to Carmen when they were in their assassin school. So, yeah, they call him Nameless because he doesn't know his own name. Um, I'm not sure how I feel about him as a character. I don't know if I want him to find out who he was. I don't know how to feel about it. Brax, Throd, Megan, and Carmen are going somewhere, the land east of Drakia, because hopefully they can resurrect Brax's sister and then find some allies against the Emperor. Brax is still a brat, all things considered, but you know, he's a lovable brat. We like Brax. Um, as they go, they see some dead ravens flying, and they get pulled along to that, and they end up with witches. They find a witch who is kind of awful, and she isn't sure if she should let them live because people don't want others to know that their land exists, which makes sense. So they go talk to the Council of Witches and Wizards, and they almost get executed, if I'm not mistaken, because assassins were part of the reason that, if you don't remember, assassins worked for the Emperor, but then he had them all killed. And assassins are the reason why the witches no longer exist. There's just basically no magic going on in the human world right now. Um, yeah, they do end up being able to escape. Um, her brother Corwin ends up helping them, but he doesn't like remember them. So they decide to lie about it because they don't want to deal with that issue right now. Carmen is having to deal with the existential issue of if he doesn't remember what he did to you, is does that mean he's a nice guy now because he's acting nice, but they don't know if it's a front. It's a whole thing. Um yeah. So they leave the island, and I ended up calling him Nameless Corwin because I didn't want to just call him Nameless. There's a book later with a character named Ampersand, and I low key kind of hate that that's his name, but he's an alien, so we'll get there. I like that book too. But yeah, so they escape the Witch Island. Most of this book takes place with the Witch Island. Um the last page says final episode of Dragon Assassin, which is confusing because this is book 7 and that's 8, but there are 12 books, and I'm hoping this isn't another the Alpha Queen. I'm hoping this isn't another Alpha Queen situation where, like, after the 6th book I felt like it was finished, so I didn't want to read the rest of the series. But yeah, I didn't like this one very much. Brax is like Brax is a lovable, annoying person, annoying dragon. But given all that has happened and all that has took place, perhaps the insults could like stop by now. Cause like that's really annoying. um, I'm keeping this one in the read again list because with the would read again list because like in the context of the story, I mean, I guess it's fine, but I don't know. We're gonna do another book and then I'm gonna end this video. Um, whoop, glasses, 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 glasses. Whalers. This is another series that I am not going to finish because I got too bored. It's the third in the Chronicles of the 21 Butterfly series, and Casey and Co. went to save the children. The guy that likes her tried to kill the leader. Said leader's in a cave with something. Monsters, it seems. So there's a new girl. Her name is JoJo. She doesn't want to get married. She's mixed, so no one wants her, thinking that she's cursed. Which seems to be a trope about mixed characters I've noticed in just about every single fantasy book. Not every single one, but in a lot of them. The slavers come to their village because they're black, and the Governor Stevens buys them. I got bored. I got really, really bored. There's a lot of setup, but every book feels like there's more and more characters for me to keep track of, and I can't keep reading this series. Maybe I'll come back to it. I'm gonna keep them, but I can't. I think there's only one book left after this too, but I'd have to reread this one. I I just can't. I got so bored. Um, I was looking forward to the series, but I have learned my lesson in not buying all of the books before I finish them. Because that happened to me with A Tale of Magic. We'll get to it when we get to it, but I bought the other two Tale of Magic books, and I'm not going to read them. Yeah, I'm really happy that I figured out that I should stop doing that. How many? Oh, I'm only at 6 minutes. I want Sweep to be its own video, but I guess not. I don't like posting videos that are less than 10 minutes long. Spellbound is the 6th Sweep book. Do remember that Cal tried to set Morgan on fire, and Morgan and her family, Cal and his mom skipped town. Morgan has PTSD. Hunter and Morgan kissed. Bree is her friend again. And Morgan is a Woodbane, which is an evil clan, and she's looking for her family now. Cool. Hunter and Sky decide to merge covens, which is fun. Morgan's been avoiding Hunter because she kissed him, and she doesn't know how to feel about him because a few weeks ago, when she was still dating Cal, she actually tried to kill him. But they did their weird mind magic thing so that they would know that the other person wasn't lying. So, like, they know each other's intentions, and it's really weird though still with having nearly killed this man a few weeks ago. Yeah, but Morgan ends up finding herself more in Hunter's company because of course she does. Her car got sabotaged, and that's not great. It's probably Cal. They don't actually know if Cal and Celine have left town. They just can't find them. So yeah. Morgan has the potential to be very powerful, but this is all very new to her, and Hunter's having a hard time understanding that, like 3 months previously, she was just a normal girl, but now not only has she discovered that she's a witch, and she thinks she's an evil witch, and also her parents are dead, and also she's adopted. She discovered all of that within the course of like a month, and it's been maybe 2 or 3 months since Cal came to town, so she's having a really hard time with all of this. Um, Hunter's dad is also alive. I don't remember why that's a plot point, but I know Hunter thought his dad was dead. He and Cal are actually half brothers, I believe, through their dad. Celine is not Hunter's mom. Yeah, Cal is able to contact Morgan, which is not great. Uh, yeah. Hunter reacts to that news the same way my boyfriend would if he found out that my ex contacted me. Because Hunter not only is magic police and looking for this boy, but also is in love with Morgan. So that's not great. Um, yeah. After that night, they do a circle, and Cal ends up finding her. Apparently, according to Cal, he has chosen Morgan over his family, and he was trying to convince his mom and her coven that they need to let her go. And the way he decided to do this was by locking her in his shed so that she would be safe because that is his place, and I guess he thought no one else would be able to get to it. What he didn't account for was one of Morgan's friends running his car into it. So, because it's still made of wood. Yeah. Um, Hunter comes to her house and Cal ends up running. Morgan lies to Hunter, and when she does tell him, he freaks out like she knew he would. Morgan's doing her best. She doesn't really understand all of these like magical politics. She saw someone get their magic taken away from them for doing illegal things, and it still hurt her despite the fact that she knew he was in the wrong because that was her friend. It's a whole thing. Morgan ends up seeing Cal again, but she can understand that that is not the guy that she fell in love with. He intentionally turned Bree against her so that he would have her to himself. Remember when I said that if somebody especially after high school, wants to go with you to Europe where you'll be by yourself with that person for an extended period of time, that they are sus? That is what I was talking about. He did it intentionally to get under their skin. Do not sacrifice your friendships over some guy or some girl, some person, especially if you've been friends with that person since childhood. Do not sacrifice a childhood friendship for some person unless that childhood friend has changed. If that childhood friend has changed, that's different. But in this situation, Bree has been Bree since they were kids. Do not. It is a terrible idea. Do not do it. Yeah. Anyway, she doesn't want Hunter and Cal to fight, so she does a spell that controls the two of them and lets Cal get away. Hunter's upset about it, but she didn't want either of them to die. Selene tries to find her. Not great. They go to the barn where Morgan's parents died, and apparently Morgan's story mimics Maeve's, her mother, a lot. Loving a man who chose the dark side over her and then ending up loving someone else. Yeah. Cal ends up kidnapping Mary Kay. Selene is back in town, and of course she attacks them. Maeve somehow from the grave seems to help them. There's like some mom magic going on, I guess. Yeah. So, Cal and Selene are I don't remember this happening. They are apparently dead now. Morgan doesn't know how to explain what happened to Mary Kay because Mary Kay does not know about the actual magic. The magic thing sets her parents off because her parents go to church every day. Not every day, every Sunday. So it makes them feel weird. I really want to go forward. I've decided now that I will read all 3 of the books in one go rather than splitting them up like this, so that I'm not reading this book for 12 more not 12, but they're like 15 books, so, and they come in sets of 3. Strangely enough, the only one I couldn't find was the 3rd one in a set of 3. I had to buy each of those 3 individually. And also one of them, when I opened the package from Amazon, it gave me a migraine. Hunter is still unsympathetic at this point, because Morgan is an abuse victim because her boyfriend tried to isolate her and put her in a house that burned down. She's got a growing case of PTSD, and Hunter's like not understanding that. Her dad is also not dead, apparently, but I distinctly remember that man the person that she thinks is her dad is dead, but I distinctly remember that person that Maeve was in love with, I remember him not being her dad. I remember there being a different person, and that dude is still alive and ends up coming to see her, but I suppose we'll get there. I never finished this series, so once we hit like we're on book 6 now? Once we hit like book 9, I'm totally running blind from there. Her adoptive family also annoys me. Again, I interact with a lot of adoptees on TikTok now, and knowing their stories, and like, I now am of the belief that adoption for reasons of infertility to me, without lots and lots of therapy, is very red flaggy to me. Ethical guardianship is where I seem to have landed, at least according to the adoptees on TikTok. And you can't not tell the kid that they're adopted, especially if mystery illnesses or magic show up later in life. You can't not tell your kid that they're adopted. Like, Morgan has every right to be upset with them. I don't know. Man,